Welcome to Red Ring Unfiltered. I am Emmanuel Oma, and today with the joint production with Mr. Odwor Jegero, we are here to interview the former Chief Justice, retired Justice David Maraga. We want to talk about his policies as he wants to be President of Kenya. Is he really fit to unseat the current president? And what are his policies in that regard?
Yeah, thank you very much. Obviously, my name is Odwor Jegero, and we are here in collaboration with Red Ring Media just to talk to the former Chief Justice. And for me at Dialogues Jagero, we want to talk about the soft part of the man. How was he raised up? We have heard about the fact that he's probably one of the people that are getting into the political space, having not been involved in any corruption scandal, even when he was making a big decision in 2017. There were so many swirling things around him, but he stood steadfast. And Africa and the world were all looking at him and saying, what is the justice going to do? So today we just want to talk about him. Thank you very much, Mr. Maraga, for allowing us into your home.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for accepting the invitation and coming to my home. We don't take this for granted. We are happy. I'm doing well.
You're doing well?
By the grace of God, I'm healthy, and we are doing well.
All right. I want to go back to where you were born. I imagine that it was before independence, correct?
Yes.
How was life like then? And I was reading about Mboya when he was in London being interviewed, and he talked so gloriously about Kenya and what independence means for Kenya. I just want to get into your mind just shortly before independence, how was Kenya like? A lot of people are saying that now Kenya should be like Singapore or like those countries that are doing really, really well. What do you remember about Kenya growing up?
Well, I was born in 1951. So at the time of independence, I was a young man. I was a young man, and what I know about then is the kind of we were excited about what was going on. When we heard of independence, we said, this Mzungu has been here, he's going away. How will life be? And that kind of anxiety of young boys. But as we went on, we accepted and celebrated, of course, our independence. That now, instead of having a white DO, we have African DOs, because those are the people we were in touch with in the village, and we were quite happy.
Okay.
Yes.
And obviously, you later on become a justice. You become a lawyer. Was this always what you wanted to become? Or perhaps you wanted to be a doctor, you wanted to be a pilot, you wanted to be something else? What exactly, or a pastor? Yeah.
Initially, I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh, I see.
A teacher was the most important person in the village at that time. So you want to emulate people you know. We didn't even, like when I was in primary school, I didn't understand what law means or it's all about. So I wanted to become a teacher, but of course in secondary school, when we were picking subjects and guided by the career masters, that's how I ended up in law. Yeah.
Okay, and take me through a little bit about your primary schooling. Where did you go to school, university? Yeah.
Yes, I went to Sironga Primary School, which is about 5 kilometers from my home. We used to walk every day. Even for lunch, you would run and run back. Then when after my primary examination, I went to Maranda Secondary School. That's where I was for 4 years. From Maranda, I went to Kisii School for Form 5 and 6. Then from Kisii School, I went to University of Nairobi. I went to the university because that time it was the only university in Kenya. Yeah, so we didn't even used to talk about the University of Nairobi. we used to say, I have gone to the university. Yes.
Oh, there were very few. I imagine at the time there was only
University of Nairobi.
University of Nairobi.
there was no any other.
There's no, those ones, that Kenyatta came later.
Around 1980 something.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then how difficult was it to go to the university? Because today there has to be a pass mark. Those days, once you're done with Form 5 and Form 6, whatever the grade you will just go old. There was
No. It was very, very competitive. It was very competitive depending on the faculty you have applied to. I mean, you had to meet the minimum qualification. Yeah.
Okay.
As I'm sure it is now.
Exactly.
Yes.
Then when you finish, you decide, okay, I am going to open a law firm, or you work.
Oh yes, I mean, immediately I finished, I was employed in Nakuru by a law firm, Jones and Jones. I worked for 1 year. I decided. I set up my law firm.
Jones and Jones sounds English. What they?
It was. I mean, at the time I was employed there, it was owned by a nation. I mean, he had bought it from from whites who used to operate it before.
Okay.
Then I set up my own firm in Nakuru, Maraga and Company Advocates. Later on, I teamed up with a friend of mine, Praveen Bauri. We became Bauri Maraga and Company Advocates. So I operated like that until I was appointed a judge of the High Court in 2003. And from there, I remained in the judiciary until I retired.
Amazing. For people who do not understand so much about what it means to become a High Court judge or a lawyer, for somebody who is, for a young person like a Gen Z who is listening to this interview, what does that look like? And you said that you did not take any bribe for the entire duration that you were a judge. I mean, was this because of who you were? Was it because of how you were brought up? And I think the larger question for young people that are watching this interview is, how do you live your life such a straight line? When temptations come your way, how do you make sure that you deflect them?
Thank you for that question. I think, I mean, I attribute that to my upbringing, to my Christian values, and I make no apologies about it. I'm a Christian of the Seventh-day Adventist denomination, and the teaching, and I have a reasonable understanding of the Bible, is that theft is sin. So, and corruption is sin, because then now you are compromising your faith. Instead of considering a case that comes before you on the merits of the case and the law, you are bringing in other extraneous factors, and that is sin. So that's what guided me, and I think it is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do.
Okay, you become a High Court judge, and then shortly after that, you become the Chief Justice.
No. I became a High Court judge in 2003.
Yes.
Then I rose to Court of Appeal in 2011.
Okay.
I remained in the Court of Appeal until 2016, when I was appointed Chief Justice of this country.
When you appointed the Chief Justice, and just looking back on the journey of the man, what were you feeling? Because I'm going to also ask you that same feeling when the presidential elections of 2017 were taken to court, and it had to come back to you to quote unquote determine the fate of the country. What did you feel when you became the Chief Justice?
I mean, my life has been in legal practice. I was in court. I was an advocate of the High Court, and I practiced the law for 25 years. Actually, 25 years to almost to the day. Before I was appointed a judge of the High Court. At the time I was appointed the judge of the High Court, we had not, the new constitution had not been promulgated, so the competitive recruitment had not started. I was identified. I mean, the law, what used to happen is that when there were places for appointment of judges, the Judicial Service Commission would seek out people. They would liaise with the Law Society. They would liaise with the judges. I mean, the judges knew the lawyers who appeared before them. And then you would, like me, I was pleasantly surprised when I was asked whether or not I minded being a judge of the High Court. And that's how I was appointed. But in the Court of Appeal now, under the new constitution, I had to go through an interview, a competitive interview. I mean, for the position of the Chief Justice, the interview was in public. It was very, very competitive. So that is how
How did you decide? Did you sit down with your family members and say, I want to give it a shot because I think I am very qualified to be the Chief Justice?
At the time when, I mean, 2016, actually from early 2016, the Chief Justice then, Dr. William Mutunga, had indicated that he was going to retire in June. And of course, there was going to be a vacancy. So there was talk. Initially, I thought, look, would I even be taken? Yeah. And I found quite a number of colleagues talked to me and they said, man, you fit the bill. Why don't you apply? And initially, I said, look, is it? I mean, will I make it? But after giving it a thought, I consulted my family. I prayed over the issue, and I said, let me give it a shot. And I applied. Like others, we were 14. We were interviewed, and I became the selected candidate.
And there were so many congratulations coming in from Kenya and even beyond. How powerful is that office?
Yes. Thank you. I mean, the position of Chief Justice, as you know, Chief Justice is the head of one arm of government. Other than the fact that the president holds an extra responsibility of being the head of state, the three arms of government are equal. The three arms of government are equal. The only difference with the president is that he is the head of state. And I mean, that's what gives him rather a more elevated position. But operationally, we are supposed, the three arms of government are equal. So I knew the responsibilities, of course, before I applied, and I had known, I read extensively on the responsibilities of the Chief Justice. I understood it clearly that when you are appointed, you are actually appointed by the people. You are appointed on behalf of the people of Kenya. So your allegiance is primarily to the people of Kenya, and the responsibility. So I understood the responsibility that fell on my shoulders, to make sure that we interpret the law in accordance with the laid down principles and the dictates of the time, knowing very well that a constitution is a living document. You interpret it, taking into account the case before you and the circumstances that are there, to make sure that you do justice to the parties that come before you. And in that position of Chief Justice and the Supreme Court, you know that the decision you make in any particular case is not only going to concern the parties who are before you, it is going to concern the entire country.
Yeah. There is, especially during your reign as Chief Justice, yes. I think people of Kenya were very happy about how the courts were going about their business. As a matter of fact, the people of Kenya thought that it is only the judiciary that stood before, that was standing before them and the excesses of the government at the time.
Yes.
And I remember even the president before Ruto was very frustrated with the courts, because every time Kenyans thought that their toes were being stepped on, they would run to the courts, yes. And the courts would protect them.
Yes.
But the government always thought that the courts are such a nuisance to us because we want to do something, and they are always stopping us. I remember there were several issues during the Uhuru presidency that were stopped by the courts.
Yeah.
How important then is a strong judiciary in a country?
A strong judiciary in a country is inevitable if that country is going to prosper. The decisions, if the executive is allowed to do as it wishes, you will have a dictatorship. You will have it will cease to be a democratic country. So, the democracy is set up in such a way that the three arms of government, while working together, regulates the affairs of each other so that nobody acts beyond his sphere of influence. His sphere of influence. The executive, and because the president is the head of state, the occupants of that position will always want to do whatever they want to do. And in most cases, and unfortunately, they do that illegally. They go past their what? Beyond the authority given by the Constitution. And in most cases, you can rest assured, they trample upon the rights of ordinary people, the rights of business community. And if you don't have a strong judiciary, you will have a big problem. You will have a big problem. I understood that to be the role, the position, and that I had to play my part to make sure that the executive is held to check. And you are told, look, you can't go beyond here.
Yeah.
I remember somebody one time said, look, where was it? I was being interviewed, and they said, look, what is this? Why are you asserting yourself? I says, look, the position of the Chief Justice is not for the faint-hearted.
Yes.
You have to stand your feet and tell the judiciary and the legislature, the executive and the legislature, that here you have crossed your path. Yeah.
I'm just a reporter and a journalist and an interviewer, but there is something that I've always looked at the Constitution, and you as somebody, God willing, can become president of this country. I want to ask you this question: why the president was actually allowed to be quote unquote above the law when his term is running? He cannot be taken to court on a civil matter, on a criminal matter. Why do you think our Constitution decided to protect the president in this manner?
It doesn't place the president above the law.
Okay.
What it does is, it freezes the actions against the president. And I think for good reason. Because of the position he occupies, he can't be coming to court to answer to charges all the time. In fact, he will lose focus. The only purpose is to let him operate, but he knows very well that as soon as he hands over power, he will be thrown into court. And that's why the law is very, very clear. You know, there are some actions which are by law time limited. Yes. The Limitation of Actions Act. So during the time of his presidency, time doesn't run. That's the law. So the whole idea of allowing the president not to be taken to court on an individual basis while he's in office is to let him focus on the issues of the country. Yeah.
Before I hand it over to my colleague who is going to be talking about politics with you now, I want to ask one more question about the big case of 2017. Before, did you anticipate it? To start from there, did you anticipate it?
Yes. In fact, not one. We anticipated several of them, given by the past practice. All along, for a long time, our constitution, unlike the Tanzanian constitution, allows petitions to challenge presidential election and all elections, to challenge the elections. And in the past, we have had cases literally all after every election. So this one was not going to be an exception. And I knew it, that there was going to be a petition. In fact, I knew there were going to be even 5 petitions. So it's something we anticipated and we prepared for it.
Yeah. When you say you were prepared for it, what does that mean?
We knew, we put everything in place. If you may know, because of the new constitution, under the old constitution, election petitions used to run almost the entire term of parliament. And that's one of the major complaints that was there. Under the new constitution, the presidential petition is supposed to be decided within 14 days, not 14 working days, 14 calendar days. And because of that, and the other petitions are supposed to be decided within 6 months. Because of that, the judiciary had to get prepared. Because you see, if you don't deal with a case before, within the time allowed, you will create a constitutional crisis. My predecessor, Justice Mutunga, set up a committee to prepare the judiciary to deal with the cases of election petitions being filed. I was privileged to head that committee. Until the time I was appointed the CJ, I was the head of that committee. So what did we do? We made a lot of preparations. Like, for example, after the new constitution, we had a devolution. We had counter assemblies. There are petitions arising from the counter assemblies, and at that time the law provided that all those cases were to come to court. You know how many counter assemblies we have in the country? The counter assembly, how many MCAs there are? Over 1,800. So if we allowed all those cases to come to the High Court would have been swamped, and it would not be able to complete. So among the things we did, my committee did under my chairmanship, is to make a recommendation to Parliament to amend the Elections Act to devolve the jurisdiction to hear those petitions from MCAs to the Magistrates Court. And they did it because we told them the crisis that was going to be created. So that is the kind of preparation the judiciary prepared to deal with. And even we came up with the rules of procedure. You have to hear this case within 14 days. So how do you guide the parties? You say from filing of the petition, the respondents, those ones who are taken to court, you have like 3-4 days to file your reply. After the 4 days, now the case is to be heard by submissions, and where necessary, you can call a few witnesses. So all that is what I call the preparation, so that we are able to meet the timelines set.
I think we cannot go into specifics of what really happened, but I like for Kenyans, I like getting into the people that were involved to hear their feelings about it. The day Raila Odinga said that he's going to court, do you remember that day? What did it look like? What were your feelings about this? What was that weight on your shoulder?
when they came, and they used to carry their files. There's a time even one guy came with a pickup of files, and they brought them. And I said, okay, what did I feel? I said, oh, here it is. What we were expecting is here. So we had made arrangements. Because of the timelines, we had made arrangements, had instructed the registrar of the Supreme Court. As soon as it is filed, the files are taken to the judges. You begin reading and saying, look, what the issues are raised in this. You don't wait until all the papers are filed. In fact, by the time the respondents were replying, we had already read the petitions and noted the points that are raised, and started even looking at the law on those points. And that's a kind of preparation I'm telling you. During that period, I can assure you, the judges of the Supreme Court, they sleep very, very few hours. In my case, I know I used to sleep like 3-4 hours only.
And you're up?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, and then you make the decision. And what do you hear from your colleagues after the decision is made that election is nullified? Do you get a lot of messages from your colleagues across Africa, across the world?
Before we come to my colleagues said,
Okay.
look, we are with the case. We are prepared, and we have read and reread the law.
Yes.
An election to be legitimate has to be transparent. It has to be, accountable. It has to be verifiable. Not be able to complete. So among the things we did, my committee did under my chairmanship, the actions of the IBC and all the actors. So when we had the case, at the end of the day, the evidence didn't point to a free and fair election. And we discussed it after hearing the submissions from the lawyers, and four of us decided then no, we can't uphold this election. So after we made the decision, of course it was it was like a storm.
Yes.
It was like a storm. I remember one chief just calling me and saying, where you guys have the guts to do this.
Yeah.
I said, this we are guided by the Kenyan law, and this is what we have to do.
Yeah.
The colleagues, of course, in the Kenyan judiciary were elated. They were saying, okay, CJ, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great. You have stand your feet. And we are congratulated.
Yeah.
Of course, don't forget that there are those who are saying, look, these fellows are misguided.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And congratulations for coming out and saying, look, this country, I want to be the president of this country. I've been the Chief Justice. I have seen what the judiciary can do. And I know what, as a president, you can fix this country. I want to hand it over to Uma, who is my colleague, to ask you about the reason why you want to be president.
Thank you so much, Jagero, and thank you so much, retired Chief Justice, for granting us this interview.
I hope that you are enjoying that episode, people of the internet. You know, everybody says there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their own town, in their own city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call fathers, but there are no jobs, right? Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them. I have worked for a long time online, I think more than 10 years. I work for Americans, I work for Europeans, I work for the Chinese, the Australian, Canadians, the Ugandans, name all of them. And last year, I had a eureka moment. I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I have been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a book called Gold Mine, 18 Side Hustles for Africans. And it sold a lot of copies. In fact, sometimes I was receiving 500 orders in a day. In 2025, something happened. AI came. I think in 2025, AI came. AI came in 2024, but in 2025, it is here with us. And people say AI is taking away their jobs. And for me, I'll say false. There are actually AI jobs. Na mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. We now have in my book 25 online and offline side hustles that you can do anywhere in the world, whether you are in the village, whether you are in your small town, whether you're in a marketplace, whether you are in your house, you can do them. In this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance, drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I have made and lessons I have learned over 15 years in this online job market. You can become an executive assistant to busy folks in Europe, America, and Canada. You can also get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. There are many of them, and they're in my book. You can also build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce without a shilling. You can also become an affiliate marketer or an online English tutor. And you can also do tens of AI jobs, and they're all in these books. If you have a job, that is fine, but I know around you there are so many people that are always looking for jobs and at home watching Netflix. Buy this book for your brother, for your sister, for your mother, cousin, husband, who is back at home all day, all night watching Netflix. Okay? Buy it for your friend. That friend who is always asking you for cash, you can buy this book for them. All the information is in the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or you can go to my website, which is oduorjagero.co.ke. The book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. Or if you're anywhere around the world, the book is $10. So thank you very much. Back to programming.
You have indicated that you want to be president. You have been a Chief Justice before with impeccable credentials. With the Kenyan politics being called to be dirty, why did you choose to soil your hands in this game?
Why did I choose to be soiled my hands?
Yes.
I think let's go back and think about this country. We all have Kenya as our country. We have no any other home. When you find things going extremely wrong, it should concern you. And I mean, as it concerned me, I have never been a politician. I've never aspired before. I didn't aspire to be one at all, because we all can't be politicians. There must be teachers must be there, doctors must be there, lawyers who are doing their work. So I was not. I never thought of being a politician until last year, the Gen Z protest.
Yes.
When I saw that young man being shot outside Parliament, I was horrified. And from there, we discussed with friends. I found everybody was horrified. And we were saying, look, I mean, this can happen in our country. Where are we headed? Things are going to go wrong. And of course, after that, there were discussions. I'm sure there were discussions among yourselves and everybody as to, there were fears. What is going to happen to our country? And later on, after discussions with the friends and the family, I said, look, I think I can run. And my aim is to say, look, we should not have this kind of thing. These young people were protesting on a genuine issue. And to silence them, you are killing them, you are kidnapping them. In a democratic country, we said no, this can't be allowed. If we allow this to continue, we are going to lose our country. When you are in a failed state, everything is paralyzed. Whether you are interested in politics or you are not interested in politics, you suffer as everybody else suffers. And we said, Kenya is a great nation. We don't want it to run into a failed state. So when I eventually made up my mind, I saw two main issues that needs to be addressed: impunity and the looting of public resources. If we deal with that and get everybody to obey the law and make sure that we don't allow the looting of public resources, Kenya is a great nation. Kenya is a great nation, and we can go on. So I came, given a chance, that's what I want to do.
Okay, you've talked about looting of public resources. Can you just highlight to our viewers what are some of the short-term action plan that you will institute if you are elected president to deter the looting of public resources?
Thank you. You know, the looting of public resources, when we talk of corruption, sometimes people think about the 100 bob, 200 bob you give to a police traffic officer to let you go when you are overspeeding. The real corruption is actually budgeted corruption. Those in government, have come up with what I call an extractive scheme, where they extract from the Kenyans for their own benefit huge resources. So what will I do?
Yes.
I will ensure, I will read the Riot Act. I will read the Riot Act to all who will be in my government. You get involved in this, we will talk when you are in prison. And tell him, look, there's not going to be two ways about it. You are involved in corruption, the law will take its course, and nobody will be defended. Unlike the system as it is now, where corruption is protected.
But now the question would be, because even the current administration, while they were not in power, that's what they said. And then the happenings is quite different in according to the person you asked. So what will be different from your side?
You have asked me the same question when many people have asked me about.
Yeah.
I want the Kenyans to look at my record. I want Kenyans to look at my record. Whether I am a man who can live to my word, and I want to assure you I will live to my word. Corruption has been there and is still there. And I think I am not being presumptuous when I say that when I was in the public space I served, I didn't entertain any corrupt dealings. I didn't go receiving bribes. I am not going to receive bribes at this age. No. What I'm content with what God has blessed me with, and I will live. And that's one promise I'm giving to the Kenyans, that I will deal with corruption firmly. And the way I understand it,
yes,
corruption can be eliminated in this country if there is political will right from the top. You can't preach water and take wine and expect it to do anything. I want to tell the Kenyans that I will stand firm and deal with corruption firmly, and then we will deal with it. So I will make sure that the resources that are given to government, the PSS who are the accounting officers, I will read a Riot Act to them. Tell them, look, my friend, you are involved in corruption. I will be the first one. I will be the first one to get you prosecuted. Yeah, because then you will have betrayed the Kenyans. You will, as an officer in my government, have betrayed the Kenyans.
But the president doesn't have prosecutorial powers.
You don't. Let me tell you, if that's one other area I'm going to deal with.
Yeah.
We will strengthen the EACC, the Anti-Corruption Commission. We will strengthen the police and let them do their work.
How?
Let them, without interfering with them. When you know what happens currently, is that the police are involved in an investigation in a matter, and the next thing you find them behaving in an interesting way. It tells you straight away what has happened. Somebody has rang them. I will ensure that there are no calls made. I will give the police and the EACC the freedom to do their work, and I will assure them that nobody should threaten them. And I can assure you they will do their work. Yeah.
Well, there's in one of your public pronouncements, you talked about Kenya being a failed state, and the current president, seemed to suggest that you cannot be a president of a failed state. Then why would you want to be a president of a failed state?
By the way, thank you for that question. It gives me a chance to clarify, as I have done already that. I didn't say that Kenya is a failed state. I said Kenya is headed to be a failed state. Why did I say that? It was, that was at the time of the Gen Z demonstration in June this year.
Yes.
Why did I say Kenya is headed to be a failed state? You saw goons with clubs, with rungus, operating alongside the police. Are you telling me that we need goons to assist the police in the performance of their work? Why don't we employ enough policemen to do their work? Those goons later on turned against the people. That's what I said, that if you get to the extent of hiring goons, the government hiring goons to operate with the police. In fact, the police in most cases were helpless. We have talked with some of them. We have talked with the police. We live in this country. We have talked with the police. The police say, look, don't ask us about those people. Where I say, well, leave us alone. I mean, go and ask whoever brought them. What message do you get from there? The state itself employs goons to come and do their bidding. You don't govern a country like that.
But the state doesn't agree with you on that.
It doesn't have to. Will it agree? Do you expect it to agree? They are doing something unconstitutional. They know they are doing something totally unconstitutional. They would not want to tell the country that they have failed to govern the country. But their actions and the results of their actions is there for everybody to read. Yeah.
And I want us to take this conversation forward, Your Excellency, and talk about the economics of the country. Currently, we have a crisis in terms of unemployment, especially among the youth, and we have the government is borrowing in numerous quarters, and you have criticized the borrowing of the government. I want to ask you, if you were in the current president's shoe, what would you have done, especially in running the government, probably the government becoming short of its revenue? Yeah.
The government generates income from the taxation. You can't tax somebody who is not involved in business. The actions the government has taken have suppressed economic activities. I know it as a fact, and we have information that the foreign investors who want to come to Kenya, when they ask for licensing, they are told, okay, fine, do this. They are taken around, and eventually somebody comes and says, by the way, is there something for me? Can you give me, say, a few shares? Some investors have just said, go to hell, and walked away. What does that tell you? These people are interested in what they can get as individuals. They have put individual interests above the national interests. The businesses, have you heard of protection money?
I haven't heard.
Oh, my friend, you live in Kenya and you understand. There are farms which wound up because they couldn't cope. They were being asked for protection money, and they wound up.
What are they being protected for?
Ask those who are protecting them. Say, look, if you want to operate freely in this country, you have to give something to protect you. And companies have closed it down. I was reading about yesterday. What is it? A company called roofing something. Roofing. It has closed it down because of the economic crisis it finds itself and the cost of running business in Kenya. So what am I going to do about that?
Yes.
For a country to run and run properly, you must encourage business activities. You must encourage business people. In fact, if anything, my government will go. We will not wait for the business community to come to us. I will get my government to go and talk to the business community. What do you want the government to do for you to thrive? Because we want you to thrive. You want to earn your profits. We want you to pay tax. We want you to employ our people. So the government is, when it comes to business, the government is there to regulate and ensure that they give all the support the business community requires. Those who are coming up with the innovations, they want to set up SMEs, make the process as simple as possible so that they can operate.
So you have given me a quite large answer, but I would like to have specific details. So for example, you say that you will go and talk to the business communities on what they want. I want what you, as a president, what are the policies that you will implement to make sure that the business environment is easy to operate in?
The policies that I will implement?
Yes.
We will start with taxation. First of all, you will have to make it, make it very clear, and you understand that you can't tax people to prosperity. That is clear. When they talk to economists, they will tell you that you cannot tax people to prosperity. A country does not thrive by oppressive taxes. I will deal with the issue of oppressive taxes and come up with a tax regime that is realistic, that makes the business community happy and able to operate. So, we will come up with quite a number of policies. That's one of them. The regulation. There's even the issue, of licensing and doing this. You get people being harassed left, right, and center. If it is taxation, you sometimes get assessments that are so realistic that they drive companies out of business. That's the kind of, we will deal with that regime and ensure that the business community is treated fairly. We will tell them, look, you have to pay tax. Tax you have to pay, and the honest tax. Once you pay that, nobody is going to harass you. We will ensure that those people are protected, they are not harassed. Yes.
Oh, thank you. And I want to move further. And Kenya currently has a debt of around 11.8 trillion Kenyan shillings. Out of that, much of it is owed to the domestic market, and around 40% is owed to the international lenders. But the debt crisis in the country has been one that has elicited numerous reactions and talks. What do you think about it?
It has elicited numerous comments, and for very good reason. It takes almost 70% of the national income, leaving you with 30% to have to spend on recurrent expenditure, and nothing at all. Even recurrent expenditure is not enough. It is not enough, and nothing at all to invest. So what am I going to do? First of all, I will ask the Kenyans to belt up. Let us live within our means. Stop the borrowing and talk to the lenders who we owe money, and get the debt rescheduled in such a way that it leaves the country with some income to be able to run its affairs. And of course now, deal with the issue of taxation, of borrowing. The money that has been borrowed, what is causing a lot of this problem, as some of it has not even come to Kenya. The domestic borrowing from the local financial institutions has created a havoc in the country. The SMEs are not able to take loans to be able to run business. Why? Because they will not be able to pay because of the high interest rates. The banks are happy to lend to government because they are guaranteed returns. They don't want to lend to SMEs. And what does that do? It just kills the enterprise. And when it kills the enterprise, what are you left with? The SMEs are the backbone of our economy. So if you have killed the backbone of the economy, where do you expect to raise income from? So we must come up with a regime that addresses all those issues, And for me, the first thing to do is to stop borrowing.
Now, you see, you people talk a lot about this borrowing issue because the current president on the campaign trail said that we will not borrow. You see? And you hear you saying, okay, we will not borrow. So how can we trust? I mean, the politicians, Kenyans don't tend to trust you much on your words.
I have not been there before. Let me tell you, there is a lot of wastage. There is a lot of wastage in public expenditure that can be controlled. That's why I said we live within our means. I was analyzing with my economists just a few instances. You give contracts, you don't pay within the time agreed. The interest that accumulates, it goes out of literally out of control. That's why I'm talking about living within our means. You give out contracts, make sure that those contractors are paid. In fact, when you pay them, you generate more activities, economic activities. So that's what I mean by making sure that we live within our means and move on. Stop wastage, and we will be able to move. You have seen from the media a lot of money being looted out. You pay hundreds of millions to non-existent schools. You pay hundreds of millions to non-existent hospitals. That's what I'm telling you. If you stop those leakages and apply the income that you generate to the economic activities or administration, the service delivery activities, Kenya has enough to run this state. Kenya is not a poor country. The problem is management. The problem is governance. We have a governance system which is set to root and root left, right, and center. Yeah, everybody is talking about corruption. The anti-corruption. You saw the anti-corruption commission yesterday giving a report. It is the talk of on the mouth of literally everyone. Yeah.
And you said you came to this race because of the 2024 Gen Z protest.
Yes.
And I just want us to take a look at the human rights record of the current government. How would you rate it?
The Gen Zs have been killed. The Gen Zs have been kidnapped. The Gen Zs have been very, very badly treated. That's not what the Constitution provides. The Constitution provides for the right to picket. And I have seen some arguments that the police come out there to stop chaos in the streets. If you have been around and you have watched, when people are demonstrating, it is the police who always cause chaos by interfering with the demonstrations. We have seen doctors demonstrate. Have you seen doctors demonstrate?
Yes.
And they have not been interfered with. And their demonstrations have ended. It is when the police come in and lobby tear gas that you have chaos. So one thing my government will guarantee is freedom of expression. Human rights, freedom of expression. When let people demonstrate, in fact, if anything, I will have people to watch and come and tell government what those people are complaining about. Then you now begin finding out whether, do they have a reason? Do they have a cause for complaint? Address that cause. Those demonstrations come as a result of government having not listened to their concerns. In most cases, if you were listening to the people, you may get very few of those kind of demonstrations coming. Yeah. So what I would guarantee is that we are going to respect human rights. And here I want to make a clarification.
Yes.
Human rights is not only confined to free speech and the demonstrations. Human rights, the basic rights, the price of bread is a human right. The cost of living is a human right. Education and health are human rights which are entrenched in the Constitution. You have to address them.
You see, in the wake of the Gen Z protest, the government came out and charged some of these people with the Terrorism Prevention Act. When such laws are used against the citizens of the country, how do you feel about it, now that you want to be president?
You know, that's weaponizing the justice system to silence the young people. You know why they came up with the terrorist charges? They come with the terrorist charges so that, first of all, they make it so difficult for them to even get bail or a bond. Because you see, the argument that they bring to court is that this person is charged with a very, very serious offense. On conviction, he would go to prison for a long, long period. So, those judges, I can assure you, I have appeared in court in some of those cases. I can assure you that those cases are not going to see the light of day. They are intended to suppress or to control the views. I'm not going to weaponize the justice system or the police against the wananchi. Yeah. If crime has been committed, we will charge whoever has committed the crime with the correct charge and get evidence to prosecute it. Yeah.
Now, as we bring this conversation to a close, you're 74 years old, and people will like to imagine that you are kind of older in terms of the responsibilities that you'll be saddled with as a president, and probably won't manage that office effectively. What do you say to those people thinking that way?
They are wrong.
They say that you don't have the legs to run around.
The legs to run around. Kenya is an athletic country, and we all are fit to run. I mean, my mind is very clear. I have not been impaired, and my mind is very clear. And you don't forget one thing. I am not going to be a lone ranger in government. In government, you work with a team. That's why you have a cabinet. That's why you have officers. Mine is to, of course, to guide and make sure that the right thing is being done, and I will get a competent team of Kenyans. And I can assure you, we have more than we can employ to do their work. Get the institutions which have been ravaged, be manned by the right people, and demand accountability, and you will have a government.
My second last question, and this one falls on foreign policy. Just recently, we had pronouncement from our neighbor, Uganda, and how they want to probably go to war later. He wasn't sure about it. And they want the Indian Ocean. If you are president, what will be your response be in such pronouncements?
What my response would be?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to term it. Uganda says it wants access to the Indian Ocean. I think they said that they are frustrated by the way Kenya handles them. My concern would be, what kind of, are we frustrating Uganda? Uganda is a major trading partner, like the DRC Congo and Rwanda and Burundi are. Those are major trading partners. Those are people you don't want to collide with. The terrorist charges, they come with the mine will be addressing what they are complaining about. I want to keep that business relationship. Our neighbors are our major market of our manufactured goods. You don't want to wreck that market. Mine is to address them, and forget about what they are saying about access to. Not every landlocked country must have I mean, a territory of its own going to the Indian, to the ocean. The whole purpose, the whole reason why that that complaint is coming is perhaps because we are not treating them well. Yes.
Okay, to wrap it up, can you tell Kenyans 3 things why they should trust you with the office of the President of the Republic of Kenya?
3 things.
Yes.
I have said in the past, and I want to repeat it, that look at my record. I have come to this space because I think I can offer leadership. I can offer leadership because what we need is governance that cares for the interests of the people. As I have said, I have not been involved in corrupt scandals. At my age, I'll be 75 in a few weeks time. At my age, this is not the time I'm going to go into corruption deals. And I can assure you, I will be content with the salary that is given to the president and take care of the Kenyan resources that will be placed in my hands. Ensure that every coin is accounted for. Yeah? Every coin is accounted for. And I am convinced that coming from me as head of state and telling all the accounting officers that I will hold them personally accountable for any wastage and theft, we will go a long way to deal with corruption in this country. Secondly, I will ensure that everybody follows the law, starting with me. I'm not going to disregard court orders. If there are any court orders that are made against the government, my government, I will appeal. Once I get to the apex of the appeal process, I will raise my hands and tell the officers I work with that, look, the court has said we are wrong in this, so now let us follow the court order. That's what it means. Because court decisions are law, especially when they have gone to the high courts and the court of appeal. You have got to comply. When you don't obey the law, you want to get the country into anarchy. So that's one thing I can assure the Kenyans, and I can assure you that once we implement the constitution, like let's talk about the education. Education is, a constitutional right. Education for our children is a constitutional right entrenched in Article 43. This is not something which should take you by surprise. This is something to plan for and make sure that the children are in class. Health is a constitutional right. This is not, you are not being charitable by making sure that the Kenyans get their rights. You are not giving them charity. This is a constitutional dictate that you must comply with. As government, it is your business to ensure that you plan for that. And I can assure you, if you plan and tell Kenyans, look, this is the amount of money you have given me. Yeah. This is how I've spent it. The Kenyans, you ask them, look, we want to raise more tax on this. When they can see that you have spent every penny you have been given correctly, they will not complain. The Kenyans, I understand them. I'm a Kenyan. I understand them. If you show them that you are governed by probity, a sense of probity, and you are utilizing the national resources as they are supposed to be utilized, they will not have any problem. You know what is in some Scandinavian countries? Taxation is more than 60%. But those people are among the happiest in the world. Why? Because once they have paid about 60% of their income to government, the government provides education, it provides health, it provides infrastructure, and they are happy. They are happy because they are seeing every penny that is taken from them, what it is doing. That's what we want to make Kenya.
Wow. That's good. And you're still the leader of the Green Movement Party? Right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Jagero, take it away.
So, thank you very much. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation.
Yes.
And this is a collaboration between Red Green.
I hope I've convinced you people to vote for me. This team here, I mean, starting with you.
Yes.
Please, I mean, let us understand this. Let us understand this. What has brought Kenya to where we are is the looting of the public resources. I am not, I'm seeking, I'm telling Kenyans that, and this is something all Kenyans knew.
Yeah.
Unless we change that, unless we all say, no, we are not going to have crooks leading this country, we are going to get into a worse place.
Yeah.
Please, I mean, I want to start with you, Jagero. Trust me, and let's work together.
You
see, like,
you sound like a good man who can lead this country for sure.
I mean, please trust me. Trust me. I'm not seeking power for the sake of having power.
Yeah.
I was leader of one arm of government.
Yes.
I had enormous powers. I exercised my authority within the confines of the Constitution. As a head of state, I am going to exercise my authority within the confines of the Constitution. I am going to be very, very careful about what the Kenyan people say. You have seen the debate on the sale of Safaricom shares?
Yes, they're saying they're going to use it to build roads.
Oh my goodness! You know, I see. In fact, I watched even some clips from some economists. Somebody, Otiambo, who came up with a brilliant argument. That, I mean, at the end of the day, you are going to sink this money. Eh? He came up with a brilliant argument. What we need to understand is that government also invests. You don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg.
Yeah, it is our most profitable company.
It's the most prominent. It is. I mean, the economists are saying it is in a class of its own. It has no comparables. How do you dispose such an asset? How do you dispose a Kenya pipeline and give it to individuals who can hold the country at ransom? Eh? There are some, but the whole idea, my understanding, the whole idea of having parastatals is for government to invest and generate income, generate taxation from those parastatals. So you don't go disposing of strategic national assets willy-nilly. That is something that you should seriously discuss. The discussions I see in the media on Safaricom actually reinforces the reason why we have provision in the Constitution for public participation before you take any measure.
Uma is itching to ask you something.
Yes. Now that what I'm saying is, if I told you I listened to a clip by this economist, Mr. Odhiambo. He has analyzed the amount we are getting from Safaricom as dividends every year, more than 16 billion. He says you just sell that, put it in the infrastructure, unless that infrastructure is going to generate economic activities that are outstrip what you are getting. It's not right to do that. In fact, Odhiambo says, the shares are being sold at less than a half their value, which agrees with Mr. Ichungwa's, is not Ichungwa?
Not David D, but what is his name?
Nyoro.
Ndindi Nyoro.
Yes.
Ndindi Nyoro's argument. So, that's what we are doing. You see a government which is acting recklessly. Yeah.
Uma, what do you want to ask?
You see, Chief Justice, to be fair, the current share price of Safaricom is about 26 shillings. That is what is traded currently. The government on its own says it's purchasing at around 30-something shillings.
Selling.
Yes, it's selling its share. And is not selling the whole shares. Around 20%, I think 20% of the shares.
Is that so?
Yes, not all. 20% of the shares. 15% still remains with the government. And it's selling to, I think, Vodacom Kenya.
Yeah.
You understand? So, of course, there's a lot of talks going on. But now the question will be, if the government wants to use this in, let's say, infrastructural development in the country, that is a gain that will help everyone. The public, it will be a public good rather than a private good.
Let me tell you,
Yeah.
all that the government needs to do is to stop corruption, is to stop protecting the corrupt cartels, and it will generate enough income to do the infrastructure the country requires. The reason why there is a hue and a cry about this is because, I mean, that's a very valuable asset. Very, very valuable asset. You don't kill, you don't slaughter the milk and cow.
All right. Thank you very much. we have to finish now.
Yes, I think we'll finish, yeah.
Thank you very much, people of the internet. This was former Chief Justice David Maraga talking to us about what he wants to do for this country. And thank you very much for listening in. Please consider subscribing to Red Ring Media, consider subscribing to Dialogues with Jagero. I hope that this is not the first time that we, former Justice, what we want to do is at some point, we want to do a debate with the presidential candidates, and this is our opportunity to welcome you. When that time is right, we will invite you for that debate, so that together we can create a bigger platform where we can talk about how we can move the country.
I would love to come.
Thank you.
I would love to come because, you know, I want the Kenyans to understand what I'm bringing. I want the Kenyans to understand that I want a working system for all of us.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Until
Thank you.
another episode. Bye for now.